Right now, somewhere in your house, your phone is lit up with 14 unread messages. You have 300 friends online, and you still feel completely alone. That feeling isn't new, but the real answer to why you feel it is far stranger than you think. Loneliness isn't a modern glitch. It's not something broken in you. It's a 200,000-year-old alarm system, and it's doing exactly what it was built to do. Let's go back, not centuries, millennia, back to a small band of early humans on the African savannah, maybe 40 people total. No walls, no police, no hospitals, just each other. If you got sick, someone had to bring you water. If a predator came at night, someone had to be watching. Survival wasn't an individual sport. It was a team sport with no substitutes bench. So what happened when a person got separated from that group? Anthropologists who study hunter-gatherer societies, like Sarah Hrdy, have found something chilling. A lone human on the ancient savannah was not just sad. They were prey. No claws, no fangs, no fur thick enough for the cold, just a slow, soft body wrapped in vulnerable skin. Alone, an early human's odds of survival dropped fast. So evolution did something clever. It built a warning light. That warning light is loneliness. Think about physical pain for a second. If you touch a hot stove, pain floods your hand instantly. Why? Because pain protects your body. It screams, pull away, this will hurt you. Loneliness works almost exactly the same way, except instead of protecting your body, it's protecting your position in the group. Neuroscientist John Cacioppo spent decades studying this. He found that loneliness activates the same brain regions as physical pain. Your brain, quite literally, treats social disconnection like an injury, not a metaphorical injury, an actual, measurable, biological injury. That's why being excluded doesn't just feel bad. It feels like something is wrong with your body. Have you ever noticed that rejection makes your chest tighten? That's not poetry. That's your nervous system reacting the same way it would to a physical wound. Here's where it gets stranger. Cacioppo's research showed that loneliness doesn't just make you feel bad. It changes how your brain scans the world. Lonely brains become hypervigilant. They start looking for threats. They interpret neutral faces as hostile. They remember social rejection more vividly than social connection. It sounds cruel, but it isn't random. It's a survival mechanism. Imagine you're that early human again, cut off from your group. Every rustling bush might be a predator. Every unfamiliar face might be a rival tribe. Your brain can't afford to relax. It has to assume danger until proven otherwise. So when you feel awkward walking into a room of strangers today, when you scan a party and worry everyone is judging you, when a delayed text reply spirals into, "Did I do something wrong?" That's not weakness. That's 40,000 generations of ancestors who did not survive by assuming the group still liked them. But here's the twist that changes everything. Loneliness wasn't just punishment, it was motivation. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar, famous for what's now called Dunbar's number, studied how many stable social relationships the human brain can actually maintain. His research landed around 150 people, the natural size limit of an ancient human tribe. Beyond that number, our brains start to struggle keeping track of who owes who a favor, who's trustworthy, who's dangerous. Dunbar's work reveals something important. Humans didn't just evolve to want company, we evolved specifically to want a place, a role, a function inside a small, known group. Loneliness isn't the absence of people around you, it's the absence of a role among people who know you. That's why you can be in a crowded office, surrounded by coworkers, and still feel completely unseen. It's not about headcount, it's about belonging. And this is where the ancient world and the modern world start to collide in a way that should make you a little uneasy. Your brain still thinks it lives in a tribe of 150. But you don't. You live in a world with billions of people, algorithms tracking your attention, and platforms specifically engineered to simulate connection without providing it. You can have thousands of followers and zero people who would notice if you disappeared for a week. Your ancient alarm system wasn't built for this. It was built for small groups where every face meant something. So when social media gives you likes instead of eye contact, It lights up a tiny piece of that ancient reward circuitry, but never enough to satisfy it. It's like feeding a starving person a single grain of rice. Technically food, never enough. Psychologist Julianne Holt-Lunstad found something that should genuinely stop you for a second. In her large-scale analysis of health outcomes, she discovered that chronic loneliness carries a mortality risk comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Let that sink in. Isolation isn't just uncomfortable. Your body treats it as a survival-level threat, because for most of human history, it was one. So what did ancient humans actually do when they felt lonely? They didn't scroll, they didn't distract, they moved toward the fire. Loneliness in its original form was designed to trigger one single response: seek proximity, find your people, repair the bond. Early humans who felt that ache didn't sit with it, they acted on it. They walked back toward camp. They shared food. They told stories by firelight, reinforcing the threads that held the group together. That's the part we've lost, not the feeling, the response. Modern life gives us the ancient alarm without the ancient exit. We feel the same primal urge to reconnect, but instead of walking toward a fire and real faces, we open an app that gives us the illusion of proximity without the substance of it. Here's the counterintuitive part neuroscience keeps confirming. The cure for loneliness was never more people, it was ever specific people. Quality of connection, not quantity, is what calms that ancient alarm. A single deep conversation can quiet a system that 100 shallow ones cannot. So the next time that heavy, hollow feeling creeps in, when the room is full but you still feel invisible, remember what it actually is. It's not proof that something is wrong with you. It's proof that something in you is working exactly as designed. A 40,000-year-old signal, still glowing, still trying to walk you back to the fire. But there's another layer to this story, one that most people never hear. Loneliness didn't just push individuals back toward the group. It shaped the group itself. Anthropologists studying small-scale societies have noticed something remarkable. Tribes with strong rituals around reconnection, shared meals, communal storytelling. Group singing tended to survive harder winters and harsher conflicts than tribes that didn't. Connection wasn't a nice bonus on top of survival. It was survival infrastructure. Think about that for a moment. The instinct to gather around a fire and talk wasn't just comfort. It was insurance. Every story shared, every joke passed around the flames, every small moment of laughter was quietly reinforcing alliances that might save your life next winter. Your ancestors who felt the sting of loneliness and acted on it by seeking others out were, in a very real sense, doing risk management. Compare that to how disconnection shows up today. You feel the itch to reach out, but instead of walking to a fire, you're handed an infinite scroll. The platforms in your pocket were not built by evolution. They were built by engineers who studied the exact same reward circuitry your ancestors relied on, and then optimized it, not for your survival, but for your attention. Here's the uncomfortable question. What happens when the ancient alarm goes off, but the ancient solution isn't available? You get a strange kind of hunger that never resolves, a craving with no clear finish line. You check the phone again and again. Each check gives a tiny hit of that same neural circuitry Cacioppo studied, but never the full resolution that face-to-face connection provides. It's the difference between eating and simply smelling food. One satisfies, the other just keeps you circling the kitchen. Researchers have also found something else worth sitting with. Loneliness isn't always about how many people surround you. It's about mismatch, the gap between the connection you have and the connection you expected. A person living alone in a quiet village with 2 close friends may feel completely fine. A person living in a city of 10 million, buried in group chats, may feel utterly alone. The size of the crowd was never the variable that mattered. The depth of the bond always was. This is where Dunbar's Tribe of 150 idea becomes almost poetic. Your ancestors didn't need everyone to know them. They needed a small circle who did. A brain built for a village doesn't know what to do with a feed built for the world. It keeps counting followers, keeps refreshing notifications, hoping the number will finally translate into the feeling those tribal fires once gave for free. So what does all this ancient wiring actually ask of you now? Not more contacts, not more platforms. It asks for smaller, deeper things, a phone call instead of a text, a shared meal instead of a shared post, 15 minutes of undistracted eye contact with one person who actually knows your history. These aren't productivity hacks. They're the literal biological medicine your nervous system was designed to receive. There's a reason a single good conversation can leave you feeling lighter for days, while an hour of scrolling can leave you feeling strangely emptier than before you started. One speaks the language your brain evolved to understand. The other only imitates it. Consider what actually happens in your body during real connection. When you sit across from someone who genuinely knows you and they laugh at something you said or simply nod because they understand without needing an explanation, your nervous system releases oxytocin. Cortisol, the stress hormone tied to that hypervigilant, threat-scanning state Cacioppo described, begins to drop. Your heart rate slows. This isn't a metaphor. Researchers using biometric tracking have watched it happen in real time. Genuine connection is measurable medicine, not a warm feeling you imagine. Now compare that to what happens during a scroll session. Dopamine spikes with each new notification, each new like, each fresh piece of information. But dopamine isn't the same chemical as oxytocin. Dopamine drives seeking. It's the check again chemical, not the I feel safe now chemical. That's precisely why social media can occupy hours of your day and still leave that hollow ache untouched. You were seeking the entire time. You were never actually finding. This distinction explains something a lot of people quietly notice but rarely say out loud. You can finish a long night of texting a dozen different people and still feel like you talked to no one. Because in a sense, you didn't. Fragmented, shallow exchanges spread across many people don't add up to one deep bond. Your ancient brain isn't counting messages. It's asking a much older question. Is there someone who would notice if I vanished? Is there a fire I could walk back to? That question is the one worth carrying with you after this video ends. Not how many people do I know, but who actually knows me. Not how large is my network, but how deep is even one thread within it. So the next time that heavy, hollow feeling creeps in, when the room is full but you still feel invisible, remember what it actually is. It's not proof that something is wrong with you. It's proof that something in you is working exactly as designed. A 40,000-year-old signal, still glowing, still trying to walk you back to the fire. Right now, somewhere in your house, your phone is still lit up with unread messages. But maybe the real answer was never in the screen. Maybe it's in choosing one person, one honest conversation, one small return to the fire your ancestors never stopped looking for.